I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and as always, producer Kate is at the controls, making sure everything is running smoothly. So we always want to give a shout out to her. She's doing everything great. I'm sure she's in the throes of crazy baking and carrying on at her house, but she's here making sure everything's running smoothly. She just gave me a little nod, so that's true. Thank you all for tuning in and giving us a little bit of your time. We understand how valuable that time is, and we're honored that you give us a little bit of your time, whether it's live or on replay, repeat, whenever you're watching. Thank you. Before we get into the show, as always, want to ask you to consider hitting that like button and smashing that thumb, giving us a like. That helps us out. If you could smash that like button, it would be fantastic. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Subscribing to the channel is free. It costs you nothing. Subscribing then allows you to click the bell, which will allow you to set up notifications for when we go live at 9 p.m. Sunday through Thursday, except this week because we're a holiday week. All right. Remember, it just isn't the show. It's a community. We want to hear what you think. And if you're watching live, feel free to share your thoughts in the little live chat box over here. Or if you're watching in the future via the replay button, comment down below. Most importantly, please help us spread the word by sharing the show with everyone you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's going to be a loosey-goosey show. Not much going on. We are definitely in the throes of the holiday season, and everybody's doing as little as possible. It's kind of hard for government because it's generally what happens. They do as little as possible, and now we're in the holiday time, and so that's definitely going on. We're going to be talking about a couple of different things. First, most importantly, tonight's show, we're going to be talking about kind of what's ahead in 2026, looking ahead, because that's only, what do we got now? Today's the 22nd. A week from today will be the 29th. And then that week, it'll be the 1st of January, 2026. Can you believe it? I cannot believe it. Let me see. I cannot see the comments here. Let me get into the comment section. Merry Christmas from the Wargos. Hey, Merry Christmas. I hear you guys are struggling. The AFSCME struggling again with the negotiations with the city of Muncie. It's like, you guys can breathe just for a short little bit. You get the negotiations done, you get a contract, everything's good. It's like that lasts for like 3 or 4 months, and then bam, you're back into a negotiation period, which is like insane. Hearing you guys are dealing with some craziness, so I hate to hear that, and hopefully we can get some things ironed out and you guys don't have to deal with this for very long, but who knows what's going to happen. So I guess that would be truly a Christmas miracle for that to be done. Let's see who's here in the comments. Kate, as always, my grandparents are here. Stumblefoot's here. I think as we talked about this last night, I just want to double check. I'm looking here at the show calendar. You guys know I talk about this a lot. I have various calendars. I got a calendar below the desk here. I've got a calendar out here that's my record request calendar, and then my show calendar is right here on the wall. And I look up and I'm looking. So today is Monday. We'll do a show tomorrow, and then we'll be done. I'll probably hop on a little bit Christmas Eve. Kate's free to hop on if she wants, or if she got stuff going on, she doesn't have to. I'll probably hop on just a few minutes to say Merry Christmas to everybody, but it won't be anything big. So we'll do just like maybe a short show tomorrow, and then we'll be done. We won't be here. I mean, I'll pop on to say hello Christmas Eve, Wednesday. No show Thursday, no show Friday, no show Saturday, and then we'll be back. So tonight's really kind of like the last big show, and then tomorrow will be a short show. So just getting ready because everybody wants to be out doing things, shopping. I'll tell you, it's really, maybe Kate can share a recipe. Hey, I tell you what, Kate has lots of recipes to share. The only recipes I care about are the recipes that call for half of a potato kind of scooped out. I haven't had any of those in a long time, Kate. I'm gonna need you to like just make me a whole batch sometime. I'll pay for the potatoes or whatever you need.
It's the wrong time of year, Christopher.
Yeah, well, not tonight, but you're not now. Like, hey, stop the presses and go make me potatoes right now.
This time of year, it is Buckeyes, turtles, peppermint bark. What else is Lane got me making? Peppermint patties now.
Yeah.
Chocolate covered pretzels, peanut clusters, Rice Krispie crunchy thingies.
Yeah.
And kolache. It's just
yes.
It's all candy and sweets and things like that. Give me
my grandpa
spring.
would like them.
Spring is potato skin season.
I'll be on you. You know it. That'll be my Christmas present you can give me. We'll delay it until April. Kid Rock asks about New Year's spotlight ball drop. Yeah, we'll probably do something like that. We generally do something, being people that don't go out and get all drunked up and act crazy out in public. We can do that right here. We generally do something on New Year's. I'm just talking about for this week. Next week we'll be back Sunday, obviously, and then we'll talk about what we're doing next week. But we'll do something. We'll figure something out. But I'm just talking about for this week. So tonight, tomorrow, and then nothing really on Wednesday. I'll say hi, and that'll be it. But that's that. So tonight we're going to be talking about a couple different things at the State House, looking ahead to next year's election cycle. And then I've got a couple things swirling around in the back of my mind. If I recall them in time, we'll get them out. So one of the big things, the show tonight, this is episode 577. I'm calling it something different. This way comes. And obviously that is a play on the title, Something Wicked This Way Comes. Right. Ray Bradbury book. And who else used that? Was it Yeah, I thought that was Bradbury's got the book, but then obviously it's a Shakespeare quote. You have at least let us see you in your Grinch. Yeah, well, yeah, you know. This is my Grinch costume. Bah humbug. So with everything that's been going on here in the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, basically since July at the state level, there's been a lot of chaos when it comes to what's been going on with our Republican stronghold, the supermajority at the Indiana State House, the Indiana General Assembly. Of course, they're made up of 150 state elected officials. 100 of those come from the State House of Representatives. Those are 100 elected officials that are up for re-election every 2 years. All 100 of them. All 100 of them. They don't have they don't cycle or anything. So all 100 of the state representatives are up. What is this? All 100 of them are up for re-election every 2 years, which is really a good thing because it allows us, if we were doing this as we're supposed to, it would allow us the chance to get rid of the turds. But we don't, because Indiana tends to have a very shitty low voter turnout. And so we don't actually, in fact, have the opportunity to do what we should be doing. So first and foremost, before we move forward with this, it's not too early for me to start doing this. The crawler down below lets you know where you can go, where you can tell your family to go. And listen, if you don't do this, I'm going to tell you where you can go. But right now it says www.indianavoters with an S, indianavoters.com, www.indianavoters.com. If you pull out your driver's license or your state ID card, whichever one you have, okay, if you have that ID card or your driver's license and you pull it out and you go to that website, you can register to vote in under 3 minutes. Okay, it's very easy. 3 minutes or less. If you go there and you need help, please contact me. I will help you. But it's not just for people who are first-time voters. It's for people who, I would say, people who've been divorced. If you've been divorced in the last year or two, you need to go there and make sure everything's up to date. Specifically, if you're a woman, if your name changed, or if you're a man and your address changed, or if you're a woman and your address changed, if you moved, whatever the deal is, go there, update it, register it, check, whatever the deal is. If you've never registered before, if you voted, I check this thing every year. Sometimes a couple times a year, because I'm generally walking people through it or walking you guys through it. And so we need to do that. So I will tell you that's where you go. It's not too early. www.indianavoters.com. And you get registered. The election will be upon us in very, very short time, man. I tell you, people really don't believe that, but it's not a joke. It will be here before you know it. And I can tell you, let me just give you this. let's just do this. This is scary. 134 days. 134 days between right now and May 5th. That's not a lot. That is not a lot at all. That's not a lot at all. Timing issues, as stated, that he wants to know when we're going to be starting the Anyone But Ridenhour campaign. And it's coming. We're still a year off from that, but what that generally means and what it should mean is if somebody is really serious about running for mayor as a Republican to primary Ridenhour, as a Democrat to run against him or whoever would win the primary in the general election in November of 2027, you should be planning that right now. See, here's the thing. We are just about 3 weeks away from the election cycle 2026 starting up. But it's not the election cycle for municipal elections. So it's not the Ridenhour city elections election. It's going to be the midterms for the national. It's going to be some state offices and then county offices. And that's what that's going to be. And for those people that are running, they should have been planning in the last year. But if you're interested in running against Ridenhour, or you're interested in running for city council or city court judge, or you're interested in running for city court or city clerk, you want to start planning that now. You always want to start about a year, 6 months to a year out. So timing issues is not wrong. You know, and Stumblefoot says tomorrow at 9. Start. You got to start. Those are the serious candidates. The people who wait and say, okay, I'm going to roll out of bed and do it. I'm going to be a paper only candidate. You know, sometimes weird things happen, but that's not normally seen as a serious candidate. It's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong for that. It is what it is. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, back to what we're talking about with the State House. So out of the 150 state representatives that are up, out of the 150 state General Assembly, out of the 150 that we have, 100 of them are the state representatives. And out of those, 70 are Republican and 30 are Democrat. And then, ladies and gentlemen, we have 50 state senators, of which 40 are Republican and 10 are Democrat. And all 100 state representatives are up for re-election. Let's see here. Okay, of the Indiana state senators who are up for re-election, I'm trying to see here. Okay, so as of the 2026 election, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Okay, 25. So half of them, that makes sense. Half of the state senators are up for re-election. And I'm going to put that on the screen here and let you guys see that, so you can see who's up for re-election as the state senators. Now, the state senators are in office for 4 years. So if you win in 2026, you're in office for 4 years, and then in 2 years the other half are up. And so that's how that rolls. That's how we do it. I know who I don't want back in office, but I don't know many that want an office with no windows. Well, yeah. Let me see here. I'll put this back up on the screen here so you guys can see what we've got going on. So, of the state senators that are up, we've got District 1, District 4, District 6, 11, 14, 15, 17, 19, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 29, 31, 38, 39, 41, 43, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. Now, of those that matter to us are going to be districts 25, 26, and 27. District 25 is Mike Gaskell. That's in Madison County. And I truly hope, and I'll say this, I hope that Catherine Callahan runs against Gaskell. That's what I would love to see. I would love to see that. I think that would be an interesting race. I definitely think that would be interesting. 26 is obviously my state senator, Scott Alexander, here in Delaware County and Randolph County. So that would be, I want to see him not be reelected. That would be really cool. And then 27 is Jeffrey Rotz, and he is the state senator for, he used to be here kind of up and around in Randolph County. Now it's the Henry County, Newcastle, down to Richmond, down to Liberty, and down into Brookville and Cedar Grove, all of that area going down there. And so, those are, in my opinion, the 3 state senators that are really connected locally, the ones that, we have a lot of interaction with. So that's that. Now, what's interesting here is, Kate, did you go... Do you remember when I did the introduction and the candidate intro for Jeff Maurer for Secretary of State in Randolph County? Did you go to that event? Are you sure? Brandon did. Remember, Jeff Maurer couldn't be there, and he asked me if I could do the interview, or if I could, not the interview, but if I could do his questions for him. Remember that? Okay. So you were there? You don't remember. Okay. Well, this is the reason I'm asking. The reason I'm asking is specifically, while I thought you were there, there was a gentleman that we met, and this was him. And this is what I'm trying to find out. Do you remember meeting this guy? No, this guy that's covered up. You can't see his face. Where's this at? Remember meeting this dude here? He was running for the Indiana's 3rd congressional district. His name was Nick. He was running as an independent, kind of Democrat-ish, but he was running as an independent, and he said some things that we liked. And he's the guy that was asking about Right Now or stuff like that. Yes. All right. Yeah, I still thought that's what I thought you were saying. Well, so he's created this group called Independent Indiana. And I don't know how I feel about this. So his page there says that you can go and you can enter your information in, and you can click and you can get his report. And I'll tell everybody out there, if you're interested in doing this, I'll put this back up here so you can see. If you're interested in looking at this, and whether you agree with him or disagree with him, I'll tell you right now, I don't know if I agree with him. I'm more not agreeing with him than I am agreeing with him. But you still have to look through all of this. So this is independentindiana.org is where you go to find this. Independent. And matter of fact, I'm going to try something because I just read something on StreamYard that said I should be able to do this. So we're going to try this and see. Nope. So if we did webinars with StreamYard, we would be able to send links and people would be able to click on them. But doing live video apparently doesn't let you. That's shitty. They need to fix that. They need to make it to where people can click on that. So if you go to www.independent, yeah, there you go. Independent, you're right. Independent, Indiana, independentindiana.org. That's it. That's it right there. Okay. Then you can click and see on it. No, it's not progressivism, I would say. I think he's a little bit more Democrat-y than I like, but it's not like it's not progressivism. It has nothing to do with national issues. Matter of fact, to my knowledge, he's not running off anything. Now, I will say, I went to this website and it says that you're able to download their study they did. And you can then read the study. They'll send it to your email, but I've went there and I've clicked on it and they've still not sent me the download. They've still not sent me the link. So I'm going to have to wait apparently to get this. I've been waiting. I've been trying to get this now for a couple of hours, but I still can't get it. So we'll have to wait and see what comes of this. But this guy's been making like the big circuit here lately. And he has a billboard. He's got billboards up all over Indiana that say the following. And this is very interesting. He says, in the last 2 years, 244 independents have been on the ballot and ran for elected office in Indiana. Not Republicans, not Democrats, not Libertarians, not Green Party, not any other kind of party, specifically people running as independents. And what's really interesting to me is the next claim they make, which is out of the last 2 years, where 244 independents have ran for elected office in Indiana, 52% of them won their race. Now, that seems absolutely shocking to me. He also says that in that same time period, 35% of Democrats running won and 61% of Republicans won. So he's not too far off of the Republicans. If this is a true figure, and I'm going to go and I'm going to research this myself to find out and to make sure that this is accurate. But he's making the rounds. He's talking to all of the various media. He's been interviewed by the Capitol Chronicle. He's been on with Kendall and Casey. He's been on with Abdul. He's been on with different folks. And so I think that's interesting that they're saying that. And his kind of shtick is, you know, it shouldn't be as hard for the independents to get on the ballot as it is, yada, 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 and all of that. So we're gonna take a look. We're gonna take a look at this and see what goes on. I'm very interested to see if in fact in the last 2 years 244 independents have ran in Indiana. And out of that number, if 52% of them have won, that's big. But I'll tell you, with what we're seeing at the Indiana State House, with what's going on between Braun and Micah, and the fight between them does not appear to be simmering, cooling down. It appears to be boiling up, and Micah is now kind of doubling down on his pushback against Braun. Braun is doubling down on his pushback against Micah. And with all of the crap that has been going on with redistricting and all this nonsense, I think that you're going to see a larger group of people wanting to push back against running as a Republican or running as a Democrat. And I'm telling you, the thing is, this is what people don't understand. If you talk to Republicans and you talk to a Republican that's willing to tell you the truth, and I know that's very few and far between, but there are those Republicans out there, and they will tell you that having the supermajority is not good for the state of Indiana. It's not good for any state. It's not good for any city. It's not good for any county. It's not good for any state. That's not how it's supposed to be. Now, listen, I don't want crazy, over-the-top, progressive, liberal ideas being pushed and forced on me, or anyone else for that fact. I want to live by the Constitution, and I want to have a conservative type of a life that we can live. A libertarian, ideal world would be, I leave you alone, you leave me alone, and we live in peaceful harmony. Okay. So I'm not looking out here for progressive ideas to be pushed upon me. But I don't know that having what we've currently have here in Indiana is better. I don't think it's better. I would like a little bit more pushback, a little bit more push and pull, some checks and balances. And I don't think that we have that. We don't have it. Well, City of Muncie's kind of strange because the council's kind of the city council in Muncie's bipolar. But what we've got going on in city and county government, what you see in Winchester and Henry County and Madison County, it's Republican, 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 Republican. And I don't mean real conservative constitutional Republicans. I mean people that have ran as Republican or switched to Republican so they could hold office. That's all it is. And we get a lot of weird shit happen when that goes on. And the same at the state level. Okay. So I'm not opposed to just everyday regular people being independents and running for office and saying, like, we want to run. First of all, if you're going to do that, you have to understand that you're taking on a bigger challenge. It is so much harder to run as an independent than it is to run as Republican or Democrat. And you've got to be willing to take that challenge on. You've got to go out and you've got to seek signatures. And whatever signatures they say you have, you need to have 3 times that amount. And you've got to make sure the stuff is real. That way you can get on the ballot to even be put on the ballot and be considered. And they knock so many people off that way. It's ridiculous. I want to read this quick article here. This was from back in September. This is from the Capitol Chronicle. It says, a new initiative, Independent Indiana, launched Thursday to help spotlight and provide resources to Hoosiers who are running and winning as independents. The idea began with an executive director, Nathan Gotch, himself a 2022 independent candidate for Congress. Dug into election results, and he then dug into election results across Indiana. In 2023 and 2024, 244 independent candidates qualified for partisan races, Nathan said. More than half of them, 52%, won in those races. Those results point to something happening in Indiana politics. Now, we're going with the assumption that everything that he is stating here is real. Okay, I'm going to look into this. We're going to dig into this and make sure that these numbers are in fact accurate. He's not got pushback from Abdul, from Kendall, from Nikki Kelly. So something leads me to believe that these numbers are accurate, or at one or two of those people would have pushed back against him, would have found out between now, because this came out in September. Independents aren't just running for local office. More are aiming higher, from countywide seats to state legislature, even to Congress. Nearly a third of independents who lost in 2023 and 2024 still received 30 to 49% of the vote. That's interesting if that's in fact true. I'm wondering if these independents ran opposed. Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to get all of that data. Well, I'll look into this. Hopefully, when I get this magical study that they're going to send me, it'll have that information. We'll see what happens. The initiative highlighted some successful independents in the Huntington. Mayor Richard Strick left the GOP and won twice as an independent. In Bedford, Shauna Jagers served 3 terms as an independent mayor. In Louisville, former Republican state lawmaker Tom Saunders served on the town council as an independent. That lines up with an analysis by Independent Voter Project of Hoosier voters' partisan leanings. Based on the data from L2, a nonpartisan provider, nearly 44% of registered voters in Indiana consider themselves independents, compared to about 31% who are Republicans and 25% who are Democrats. Because Indiana does not register voters by party, these figures are estimated based on the recent partisan primary participation and supplemented with modeling analytics, the release said. Nathan said, "We're proud to have a financial support from multiple Hoosiers, both Republicans and Democrats, who have seen the negative consequences of not having competitive elections in our state and believe in our mission to change that." He also runs Fort Wayne Politics, a free email newsletter about what's happening behind the scenes in the state and local politics. Independent candidates in Indiana face higher barriers, however. To get on the ballot, candidates must collect a petition signatures from registered voters equal to 2% of the most recent Secretary of State's votes in their district. For a statewide race, that means nearly 37,000 signatures, closer to 50,000 in practice once rejections are factored in, which is what I always talk about. If you're supposed to get 500, you need to get 1,500 to make sure that you're getting what you need, because they will throw a lot of your signatures out. That's just what happens, because people will sign up that's not registered. People will sign up and you'll say, "Well, do you live in this area?" And they'll be like, yeah, I do. And then you'll find out they actually don't. They live in Indianapolis. So they will throw a lot of signatures out. A lot of times for valid reasons, sometimes for questionable reasons. To get on the ballot, you have to collect those signatures. With paid circulators charging at least $15 per valid signature, ballot access for statewide independent candidates can cost more than $700,000. These successful independents prove that voters will cross party lines when given a choice. Independent Indiana exists to shine a spotlight on that success, develop educational resources for prospective candidates, and study what reforms are needed so independents can come and compete at every level of government. The initiative's launch includes a statewide billboard campaign in Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Evansville, and Northwest Indiana, and 2 September events. And they talked about all of that. And then, of course, to learn more, you can go to independentindiana.org. So I think that's going to be interesting. It's going to be something to watch. I think this year, more than it has been in the last little bit, it's going to be very interesting to attend the election board meeting at the state level, which, if you all remember back in I don't know how many of you were around back in 2019, but in 2019, I attended, that was the year that I attended like more election board meetings than ever before. I went to Delaware counties, I went to Henry counties, I went to Madison counties, I attended Randolph counties, I went to Jay counties, I went to Marion counties, and then I also attended the one at the state level. And the one at the state level is the one where it lasted like 8 hours, and they kicked like 80 people off the ballot. It was ridiculous. It was just a bloodbath of kicking people off the ballot. So this year, that meeting will be very interesting again, because number one, you're going to have a lot of scared Republicans who aren't going to want to have primary challengers. It wasn't 19. It would have been, I guess, 2021, because it would have been the people that were running after the COVID deal with Holcomb. So I guess it would have been 2021. I tell you, it kind of all blends together. Very strange. Right after the two-party rule went into effect. That is right. That was 2021. So I'm going to go down to that meeting again, which will be sometime towards the end of February, maybe the first week of March. But that'll be an interesting time. We're also going to pay attention at the county level to what's going on. We're going to go around and get all of the candidate information again and look through it like we do, find out who's got the errors, who doesn't have the errors. And I don't know that I'm going to play as hardball this year, because I'll be honest, I don't like the idea of kicking people off for errors, like Scribner's errors. I think that's chicken shit way to play. I went hard last year because that's what they did the year before. And now I'm thinking, okay, you did it, I did it. Now let's reset and see what happens. If they act foolish again this year, then we'll be forced to do something. We'll just have to take a look and play it by ear how it goes. I'm not going to be looking to, challenge people just to be challenging people. It's going to have to be something glaring, that like what Belinda Munson did or whatever, that we would challenge. So we'll have to take a look, and see what goes on. But I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Hopefully somewhere people are getting engaged. I keep hearing this everywhere, all over the state, that people are engaged, because I'm telling you, I'm not seeing it around here. I'm not seeing it in Madison County. I'm not seeing it in Randolph County. I'm not seeing it in Henry County. I'm not seeing it in Delaware County. I see a lot of apathetic people that just are not interested in being involved and running and being engaged. Hell, they're not even interested in voting anymore. So I think that's scary. And what's going to happen is, that's not the answer. I know it's cool for Jack to come on here and say, oh, anarchy, don't vote, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, the fewer of us that vote, the less people that vote, the more the power in charge continues to be in charge and remain in charge. It's just like when I show up to a meeting, or Catherine shows up to a meeting, or someone shows up to a meeting in Henry County or Randolph County and pushes back against the government, and it's just one of us. It's easy for them to do what they want, roll right over us. But when we show up with 1,200 people at a Muncie City Council meeting, when we show up with 200 people in Madison County, or we show up with 300 people up in Blackford County to the point where they've got to lock us out and only let a certain amount of people in, that's the shit that changes things, that scares things. When 11% of people show up to vote, they remain in power. They're not afraid of that. If we bust our ass to get people out to vote, and we turn out and we turn up and we show up and we show out in numbers, that's what makes a difference. And I can say it until I'm red in the face or blue in the face, but until it actually happens, it doesn't matter. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on. Hopefully people are more active and engaged elsewhere, and we're going to see that. We're going to see people pick up and run, but I'm just not hopeful for that around here. That's like I said at the park board meeting the other day. I want to hold out hope that change is coming and something's going to happen, but honestly, I'm not very hopeful because I feel like it's just going to be more of the same. People literally asked the other day, someone tagged me on Facebook and said, I'm not hearing anything about Ridenauer running for state office. Do you think this means he's going to run for re-election? I said, hell yes, he's going to run for re-election. He announced it that in February of 2024. So 2 months into his second term, he announced he was running again for re-election. Now, that's a lie, because he told us he was only going to do 2 terms. But he also told us that he was going to do all of the things that he told us. I'm not even going to say them. It's stupid to say it at this point. And he's not done any of it. So that's that. No changes coming until Dan is gone. But that's only for one small office in one area. I mean, there's bigger issues going on at the county level, and Dan doesn't control what goes on in Winchester, and Dan doesn't control what goes on in Newcastle or Henry County or Anderson and Madison County. So I don't think that Dan just gets all of the blame, because the same thing is happening in these other close by areas, and Dan's not in charge of what goes on there. So while there is some credibility to what you're saying there, meaning like it's going to be bad until Dan's gone, I think that's more the answer. It's going to be bad until Dan is gone. But as far as people running, I don't think that necessarily has anything to do with Dan. I just think that it makes him more of a problem. Because look, when no one's running, it's like when somebody runs it's like JD Prescott. Okay? Everybody and their brother can run against JD Prescott. But if they're not true, serious candidates, if we don't have a hardcore Republican candidate that's got money and people behind them, a team and money, JD Prescott is not worried. He's going to walk straight into his 500th re-election term. Whatever this will be. 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. This will be 4. This will be his 4th re-election. I guarantee you he's mad. I guarantee you he's mad at the fact that he's not on the national circuit yet. That's funny to me. That's the one thing that makes me happy. Stumblefoot said, I'm talking about transparency and honoring the people's Fourth Amendment rights. And Fourth Amendment, it's even more than that. First Amendment, and they don't really do anything with the Second. That's one thing I can say that's good about Dan. It's not like he's out there pushing anything crazy for the Second Amendment. But it's all of our constitutional rights. None of that stuff's going to be better until Dan is gone. That is absolutely correct. So we'll have to see. I think it's interesting to see what might be shaping up. There's every day I'm seeing new candidates that are running on the statewide circuit for state representative or state senator. So that gives me a little bit of hope. It's going to be interesting to see what they're running as. Are they running as Republican? Are they running as independent? Are they running Libertarian? Are they running as Democrat? If they're running as Republicans, are they running as constitutional Republicans that are actual conservatives, that are people like you and I? Or are they running as part of the establishment? I think that's going to be interesting, and it'll just take time to tell that. So we'll continue watching that. A couple of things that I want to talk about, changing gears. So a couple weeks back, I reported and told you guys about the Ball State student that got arrested at the trustees meeting back in the summer or fall, maybe the spring. I don't know when it was. Back earlier, sometime earlier this year. And he was arrested along with a couple of other people, like 4 or 5 of them. And Judge Cannon ruled in his favor and did not, he was found not guilty or whatever, is dismissed by the judge. Todd Rokita, his office has picked up the appeal, and they're now appealing that. And they're saying, no, the judge was wrong. And so that's interesting. Well, what's interesting here is there were 4 other cases stemming from that ordeal. But the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office has dismissed all charges against those kids. Listen to this. The misdemeanor charges pending against 4 people as a result of February protests, so the beginning of the year, as a result of a February protest at a Ball State University Board of Trustees meeting, have been dismissed, at least for now. Delaware County Prosecutor Eric Hoffman last week asked that these counts of disorderly conduct pending against Keegan Bassett, Zoe Rose C. Degas, Jax Dodd, and Joseph Sousa be dropped. On November 21st, Delaware County Circuit Court Judge heard testimony in the state's case against a 5th defendant, Cooper Archer. Archer and his co-defendants were accused of disrupting a meeting of the Ball State University Board of Trustees on February 28th. Now, I stated from the very beginning that this was a First Amendment issue, and I stood with these individuals, even though I don't agree with any of them, and they are far on the other side. I do stand with them against tyranny and the abuse of these individuals for using their First Amendment right. I stand with them, and I will fight with them to the end. I don't agree with what they were saying, but I agree that they have a right to say it. Archer's trial ended without going to the jury when Judge Thomas Cannon Jr. ruled that the state's case lacked substantial evidence and found Archer not guilty of both charges. In the wake of the verdicts, Hoffman said he will ask the Indiana Attorney General's office to pursue an appeal, saying that he believed the case should have gone to the jury for their deliberation. And let me tell you, this is an instance that I disagree with Eric Hoffman wholeheartedly, and will tell him, I'm telling you, and I'm shouting it out to the world. I disagree with this. 1,000%. I disagree with this. On Wednesday, December 17th, the Deputy Attorney General, Andrew Kobe, filed a notice of appeal with the Indiana Court of Appeals. Hoffman last week then filed motions that Cannon granted to dismiss the case against Archer's co-defendants. The prosecutor noted an appeal was being pursued in the Archer case. The outcome of the appeal may determine whether the prosecution moves forward in the other cases, and they can be charged or refiled at a later date. They've got 2 years for misdemeanors and 5 years for felonies. So they can dismiss these charges and then refile them, say if the appeal is won. I really hope the appeal is not won. Well, I think what he's done here, because Kate said this is weird, so I think what he's done is he's dismissed these to not spend time dealing with it. He's going to let this appeal go through, and then if they win the appeal, he'll refile the other cases. But if they lose the appeal, then he'll just keep it as is. I don't like how that's being handled, and I think that they should be dismissed. I think they should be dismissed with prejudice to not be filed again and just be done with this. I don't like that we're filing the appeal on this. This is a waste of time, money, effort, and more importantly, Eric is a conservative now. He always has been. But this is not, in my opinion, a fight he should be fighting. There are plenty of other fights out there that are far more important than this. So that's that. Let me see here. What's the other? Agreed. Yeah, absolutely. Alva has still been hard at work. I saw that he messaged me today about that. I have not had a chance to get back to him yet. I'm really going to dig into it during our break and see what's going on. The Board of Works meets tomorrow, and I am going to go to the Board of Works meeting in the morning. Last night, we saw Lola Maurer at the MRC meeting from last week, and I asked why she had been being there, why she was there. I think she was there last MRC meeting too. And I said that I thought maybe that she was being considered to be to replace somebody on the MRC. That's not going to happen. I think I'm piecing together what's going on with her, but I'm not at liberty to say just yet. I'm still doing some work. I will let you know. It is something, she'll still be on the Board of Works, and it doesn't interfere. It doesn't interfere with the Board of Works, what she's apparently going to do, I guess, any more than what Ted does. Both will receive money. Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I've got a little bit more work to do on that. So I'll let you guys know when I know more. Let's see here. What is the other? We had one more follow-up I wanted to get through. Let me look here. Kate, was there anything? Oh, I sent another email to the clerk's office in Madison County asking for the probable cause for Julian Sulik, and they still have said no probable cause. I think that's wild to me. Like, I don't understand, but the prosecutor's office said that it might not come until the initial court date, and that's going to be sometime in January, I think. So I'll keep you posted on that. That's really weird. I still don't have anything from that Indiana independence thing. I guess I probably won't get that until tomorrow, I guess. Sent out some record requests in the deal with Catherine today, but we're waiting. Of course, nothing will be. We probably won't see anything on that until after Christmas. And let's see. Still no word on whether Sproles is going to file. I've not seen anything there. And somebody just sent me somebody just sent me the 2019 City of Muncie mayoral debate from, let me see where this was from. Oh, this was from Ball State. It was beautiful. It was, this is the one where Dan talks about his plans for the budget, what he would do. He would have it to the council in July. Amazing. I love when people send me this stuff. Someone sent this to me and said, "This is a gem. Listen to the questions asked and Dan's responses. Unbelievable." I love that people are finding this stuff. It lets me know that people are getting more and more sick of what's going on with Dan. I'm seeing more and more people reaching out that used to be supportive of Dan, people that used to not say anything, people that used to keep quiet, people who were very supportive on Dan's side as much as I was. And they're now coming out of the woodwork and saying, "Can you believe this shit?" So that gives me hope. But again, it doesn't matter if we don't have somebody that can run against him and that can win. We need not only somebody that can run, but somebody that can win. We could have 10 people run against him. And if none of them are capable of winning, it doesn't matter. We have to have somebody that can beat him, be it a Republican or a Democrat or an independent or a libertarian. So time will tell. I think that's it. I think that's all for tonight. We're going to call it a short one. We don't have... it's what happens near the holidays. We don't have a lot of content, and people are winding down. So I think that's going to be it. We will be here tomorrow night. It will also be a short show. We'll do kind of a holiday thing. Just have some fun. Maybe look back at some stuff from the past year on YouTube or whatever. We'll see what goes on. We'll also talk about the Board of Works. I will be at the meeting tomorrow, so I'll wave to you, Alva. Watch in the morning. You can watch it live on the city's Facebook page, the City of Muncie, and most importantly, and where I would watch it from is the city's YouTube page, the City of Muncie on YouTube. So you can watch that there. I'll wave to you, Alva. And so we'll be here tomorrow at 9, and we'll see you guys then. You guys take care. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great rest of your Monday night. Have a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Take care, and good night.